Welcome, everyone, to the Game Vault Podcast. I'm your host, Tom Schuster. Joining me tonight are Jenny Aquino and Mark Myers. Tonight we'll be discussing franchises that we want to revive, and we'll be reviewing our Retro Roulette game, Grand Theft Auto 2, for the Sony Playstation. But before we get to that, what have you guys been playing? Let's start with Mark.
Yeah, so I know it's been a little bit since we recorded, so forgive me if I did mention these, or at least a couple of them, in the last podcast. So first off, I'm playing probably the first game that surprisingly may make my top 5.
Wow.
It's a game called Death's Door. It's basically a little bit of like a Metrovania, but combat is close to like Souls, where you have to learn the patterns of the bosses and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're big, large bosses. And there's a little bit of a finding items to help you, like Zelda-esque sort of thing to it. But yeah, it's real fun. Combat's real tight. If you know why you die, you know, if people out there understand what that means, like there's no like trying to figure out, you know, what you did wrong. You know exactly what you did wrong. The 2.5 levels I've been through so far have been pretty different and well built in terms of the scenery sort of like sucking you into the world you're in. So in short, what Death's Door is you're a Grim Reaper raven, I think it's a raven, that you're tasked with going around and collecting souls, like actual big souls, not souls as in Dark Souls. That's where it's kind of a Zelda-esque thing when you go get pendants or crystals and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you go through, you upgrade your, you get the equivalent to souls, and you upgrade, your strength and your vitality and all that stuff. But the writing's pretty good. It's not Hades level, but it is still pretty good. You have one of your first friends you meet is called Pothead, and it's literally a guy who has a pot for a head.
Very creative.
Yeah, they do the text on screen thing, like Control did a little bit.
Okay.
So that's fun. It's a really, really well made game. So yeah, it's one of those like Hades was last year that as soon as I played it, I'm like, all right, this is in my top 5. We'll see where it ends up at the end. I don't see many games beating this.
Wow.
So I went through that. I played some Disco Elysium. That game, for the couple hours I played it, is a little weird and slightly up my alley in that respect, but I don't understand what you're supposed to be doing in terms of when you're making the choices. Like, I've been just going through the whole conversation tree. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be one of those things where if you're playing the character a certain way, you sort of don't ask certain questions and things like that. So I'm not 100% sure, but I'm gonna play through it and finish it. It's what I expected it to be. It's kind of weird and pretty goofy so far. So yeah, that I played. Let's see. I played some more Yakuza Like a Dragon. It crashed on me.
Oh no!
In a weird way. So I paused the game to like answer my cell phone or something, and when I came back up, both of my screens were black.
So did the computer crash?
No. I control delete it, and that popped up.
Oh, that's
so
weird.
I don't know what happened.
Edgar happened.
Yeah, something happened to it, but
Edgar got to it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I got a new character in it whose weapon is that she like can do kung fu a little bit, but her weapon is like a purse, like sort of like hitting you with the purse is part of the weapon, but she also like does a lot of kicks and stuff like that.
Is she a character from Laugh-In? God, that was a terrible joke. I'm sorry. No one's gonna get that. I don't even know if Mark got that.
Yeah, I don't get it.
A little bit,
I'm sure it's
but
funny.
I don't know exactly what you're aiming for. But
well, I'll explain it later.
Yeah,
it's really obscure.
I know what Laugh-In is, but I don't know. To that point, I'm almost to the point where you start your business. Because just about every game or Yakuza game has some kind of like mini game business that you can play during it. Like the like Yakuza 0 was you ran a hostess club. So the thing was like leveling up the girls, getting to the, make sure the customers were happy so they paid more money and got more tips as you like conned them a little bit with things. By if the girl had blonde hair, this one guy would give you more money. So you had them like throwing on wigs constantly. If I remember, that's how you did it. Or maybe you had to have them set as blonde when you knew they were coming in or something. But yeah, so this business is supposed to be a little bit different. I think it's like sort of real estate based or something. You sort of like start taking over the businesses in an area. So I'm looking forward to that. There was one other game I played. Oh, I went and purchased for a trip to Virginia I had last week. 3 Switch games. I grabbed Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Mario Kart Deluxe 8, and Super Mario Party. Didn't get to play Super Mario Party. Played a whole lot of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, mostly by myself, going through the World of Light, because I hadn't realized that, and I'm stupid because I haven't played a Smash Brothers game since Melee, that you have to literally unlock all the characters in it.
Oh, yeah. That's the main part of the game, is unlocking everything.
Which is, to be honest, and Kurt can come at me with the alternate argument to this if he's on it. I think that's real dumb because, especially if you're buying this for kids and they love a certain character, and that character is not unlocked from the beginning. Try to explain that to an 8-year-old.
Well, that's when Dad steps up and unlocks the character for him.
There you go.
But it's like, I wish I would forgive it if there was a streamlined way to, choose which characters get unlocked instead of it being random. Well, it's not random; it's a list.
Yeah, it goes in order.
Yeah, but like if that character is like 25th on the list, and they only let you, unless you go through the World of Light, if they only let you unlock characters every 10 minutes. Takes a long time to get that character. But and they took out the glitch where you could close and reopen the game, and it would keep challenging you.
They got smart.
Yeah. So I've been going through the World of Light, fighting all the. I put it on easy, which I should have probably put it on very easy, to be honest. Just because I just wanted to get the characters unlocked. Playing mostly as Kirby because I've started to learn his moveset. For at least getting through that part. So game's fun. I'll say that. As much as I'm complaining about the things not being unlocked, the World of Light playing single player is a lot more fun than I remember needing to unlock characters in Melee and the original. Because you can play the one character you're really good at if it's unlocked and just go through the whole thing instead of having to do like the fighting game stories for each character to unlock somebody.
Yeah.
I bought 3 DLC characters. You can probably guess who they are. Of course, I had to get Byleth from Fire Emblem just because one of her alternate costumes is Edelgard.
Of course. Had a feeling that one was coming.
Joker.
Okay. Of course.
Yeah. I don't know if they have alternate costumes, but I know some of the spirits that you can take with you are the characters from Persona 5. And I bought Sephiroth. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say you had to buy the one wingy boy, right?
Yeah, I had to buy him. I tried to play through his story, and it is basically all boss battles. Like,
well, yeah, he's supposed to be a god, so
it's not even like I played through Kirby's story, and with his story, you fight a couple regular guys, and then at the end you fight the big boss that has the big long health bar, right? For Sephiroth, every character you fight has a big long health bar. So I had to fight Dracula, and he's invulnerable for parts of it, and I didn't know Sephiroth's moveset, so that fight was terrible. But yeah, I mean, I can see why this game people got really into.
So Mark, when are you going to EVO?
Yeah, so I'm going to go to EVO with Kirby as my main. That was going to be the reveal at the end of the show, Tom.
Oh, sorry.
So,
I didn't mean to spoil it.
Up early, I had to surprise everyone.
Right.
Also, I will say this: for the other game I had, there are way too many tracks in Mario Kart 8 because I'm trying to go through and like get first place in each cup.
Yep.
And because you have to do it at each CC, and I'm at 50, and those are the most boring races of all time because it's virtually impossible to lose if you're competent at video games at 50 CC.
Yeah, 50 is real tough to lose. Sure.
But I'm assuming it's like the other ones where to get the special stuff, you have to beat it at each CC.
Yeah.
Not sure, but I'm just assuming that. So I got really bored getting through like 5 of those before I stopped. And then Super Mario Party was just a thing for if the kids wanted to play something or if it rained, but we never actually got to end up doing that. I think that's it. I downloaded The World Ends With You after Jonathan told me it was like Persona sort of in its presentation. So I'm looking forward to playing that demo before purchasing it. And we've been playing Halo, and then me and Jen started the game I can't stop thinking about since we played. It Takes Two.
Phasmophobia, yeah.
I haven't touched that game. I thought they took it off Steam.
Never.
Yeah, so that game was really good. I mean, despite the fact that I was fearing for my life with the hornets in my room.
Yeah. Mark was playing with another level of difficulty.
Real life
dodging real life hornets.
Real life murder hornets.
Yeah. Not murder hornets, thankfully. Regular hornets. I thought they were wasps, but when I found the one dead, it was a little too fat to be a wasp. Even though hornets are technically wasps, before all the bee people out there get mad at me.
Is this experience coming from your extensive bug snacks playing?
Yes.
Okay. That's very impressive.
No bungers yet. I am upset.
No bunkers.
But yeah, so I think there's 4 of them. I found 3 dead. There's a 4th that my cat's freaking out about, so if you hear noise in the background,
it's the cat eating a hornet.
And I would say my cat is useless. All she does is stare at the bug.
She's like, excuse me, can you get it, please?
She hit it, went to the ground, and it was just like wiggling on the ground, like walking, and she's just staring at it. I'm like, you going to do anything about this?
Nope.
No, it's not a mouse.
Yeah, but she's freaking out trying to get it. She gets it, and then just like, nothing. So I had to end up killing it with an air freshener because that was the only thing I could find in my room while I was still on stream. So yeah, so if you're listening to that audio back and you hear at some point, that's me killing a hornet in my room.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I didn't hear that yesterday. Okay. So look for it, everyone. It's an Easter egg.
Yeah, if you can hear it, it's me. So there's one more in my room. The good thing is I read up, not to tangent this into Hornet Talk, but
too late.
It's our new podcast, Hornet Talk. We're backpiling in it right now.
Hey, it's the buzz.
That's our Patreon.
It's the buzz.
That's our Patreon show.
It's our Patreon. Apparently the hornets that these are only sting you if you like grab them or try to kill them. Like they're not like wasps that if you make the slightest movement towards them, they freak out. So that's good. So I don't have to worry about them stinging me in my sleep.
Yeah, that's a plus.
Yeah, and they're the downside is that if I accidentally threaten their lives, they are not like bees, so they can keep stinging.
Oh, fun!
So awesome. But anyway, that's been my last 2.5 weeks since we last recorded. And also, I'm glad that John Madden is coming off his hill next week, and that we can start getting some video games. EA let me know I could download early because I'm in the EA Play thing. So we might be able to talk about that next week, how broken that game is.
Jen, how about you?
So for me, the usuals, Phasmo and Dead by Daylight. Phasmophobia, I believe, this Sunday. So by the time you guys listen to this podcast, it will most likely already be done. They are releasing some big, huge game updates. I believe it's going to be new equipment, new ghosts, and some other things that I'm pretty sure are fairly vague right now. I'm thinking they're not really sharing most of the details, but there's some big changes coming. So if you are listening to this and you haven't checked them out yet, please be sure to do so because it is going to be awesome and I can't wait. I've been playing, like I said, Dead by Daylight. Rank reset just happened today. So not looking forward to dealing with the next week or two of people being extra sweaty trying to get back down to red ranks because I always, get face camped and tunneled. Time. Yeah, it's super sweaty and fun. And then I was still continuing to play Ghost Hunters Corp. So I'm enjoying it. The more I play it, the better I get at it. And I've said this a bunch of times. It's very complicated, but I'm getting there. And they're doing a lot of updates, so it's improving slightly. I believe I haven't died in that game yet, which is interesting. But I am a little bit of a chicken, so maybe that's also why. It's still, I still believe it's a lot scarier than Phasmo. And I've been doing research trying to find new horror games too. So I'm on an alpha testing list for a game called The Haunting, which looks like it's going to be incredible. The developer is actually, every once in a while, he streams the process of him creating this game, which is awesome. I will find his name if anyone's interested. I just have to scroll through my list. Oh, it is Warka, so WARKA 101. If you're interested in watching a dev build a horror game, you can go check him out. He's really cool too, and he likes to interact with this chat. And then I very briefly tried playing Haunt Chaser, which I don't know if you guys have heard of. I think it just came out this year as well. It's pretty much like if Phasmo and Dead by Daylight had a baby. You can play it solo. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll try it out before I try to pressure my friends into buying it. And so you start out by this camper van and you have your equipment and you have these objectives that you have to do. It's like, go investigate this area, go take a picture of this, go figure out why this is like this. So I walk like 3 steps and I have a photo camera, and similar to Ghost Hunter Corp, you can see things that are invisible, like paranormal stuff that's invisible through the lens of the camera. So my character's holding the lens and I see like this floating voodoo doll or something. I'm like, oh, that's super weird. And then out of nowhere, this freaking ghost comes and grabs like my character and screams in my face and kills me. And I had a heart attack. And then I'm like, I'm done with this. It was terrifying. You would hate it, Tom. Absolutely hate it.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. So I really don't know much more about that game than that experience. So if anyone listening wants to play with me, please feel free to invite me into your game because I'm not playing that by myself anymore. And then the newest game that I've been actually pouring a decent amount of time into is Pokemon Unite, which I wasn't sure if I was going to play it because from what I could see of it, it didn't look like a game that I would really be super into. I played a little bit of League of Legends, but that's really the only game I've ever played that's relatively similar to that style. But I love Pokemon, and one of my streamer friends was playing it on her stream, and she was, basically had nothing bad to say about it. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just give it a shot. It's free on the Switch, which is also really cool. And I downloaded it. The tutorial's really great. They walk you through how to do everything, so you really aren't confused at all. And it's not. I read reviews that people were saying it's pay to win. It's really not, in my opinion, pay to win. You can put real life money into the in-game currency to buy things that your Pokemon can hold. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's really pay to win as much as it is. Like, you can pay a little extra to have some bonuses. But it's a lot of fun. I think you guys should try it, especially since it's free. Especially you, Tom. I think since you like Pokemon so much, I think you would appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I didn't realize it was free.
Yeah, it's free.
I heard about it, but I didn't realize it was a free game.
I don't know if it's going to be free forever. I believe right now you can catch, I forget the legendary Pokemon's name because it's generation 1 million by now. And I don't know any of the new Pokemon. But there's a legendary Pokemon that you can get if you download the game by August 30th, I believe. So I don't know if beyond the first month they're going to start charging for it. I'm not sure, but it's a lot of fun. I'm very impressed by it. It's wholesome enough where you don't have like that really toxic post-game chat to worry about. You can basically, you can give someone a thumbs up and say good job, or you can do nothing. Or if, if they're idling in game and they're not playing, you could report them, but it goes by like a rating system. So if people report you so many times, then I forget what they call it, like trainer score goes down, and then they'll eventually ban you for a little while if you're in the zeros, which I would imagine takes a very long time to get there.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun, like I said, and it's fairly simple. It's easy to pick up. It's a time suck. That's the only, not even negative, but only critical thing I'll say.
Okay.
Don't play it if you have something to do because you will lose all track of time. What else? And then, like as Mark mentioned, we started playing It Takes Two, which was really difficult on the keyboard and mouse. I tried, Tom. I'm sorry, I let you down. I had to switch to controller
It's okay.
because there was one part in platformer style where it goes sideways. And it's going like sideways to the left. Then you have to jump and turn in the air and go to the right. And then you have to like wait for a conveyor belt and you have to do this and that and not die. And it got so difficult the way the keyboard was set up with the shift button and the control button doing something different. And I know it sounds like basic mouse and keyboard maneuvers, but it really wasn't with this game. It was difficult. So I had to switch to controller and it became somewhat easier. But
yeah, I've seen some gameplay of that, and I'm surprised you even like tried mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, it didn't even occur to me that it would be a bad idea, honestly. Because in my head, like I'm like, if I could play Dead by Daylight now on mouse and keyboard, and that was pretty much impossible for me, this should be, normal. And then as soon as I booted it up, I think Mark was like, "Wait, you're playing mouse and keyboard? Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think. I don't know." So yeah, never again. But I'm having a lot of fun with the game, as Mark said. Got a little frustrating yesterday towards the end because we were dealing with issues for an hour trying to log into our Origin accounts and add each other as friends.
Oh.
That's the biggest drawback to that game, in my opinion.
Is the fact that it's on Origin.
Yes, because I can't stand EA.
Yeah,
but
the main problem was that I had it downloaded straight through Origin and she had it through Steam. So trying to get everything to talk to each other.
Yeah, it was a pain, and then it was for some reason prioritizing logging me in with Dan's account, and then it licensed the game on Dan's account, and then I had to figure out how to take it off. It was just like a nightmare. So it literally took us an hour to start playing. So I think by then I was already mentally exhausted. But it was a ton of fun. I can't wait for our next Thursday stream.
Yep, I had fun.
Yeah,
it's more fun than at any point I had with Paper Mario. By the way,
there you go.
I'm glad I made the change.
Love it.
Good. That's what it's all about. Having fun. All right, so I have been rather busy these past couple of weeks, so I didn't really play as much as I would have liked. But I played some interesting stuff. Forza Motorsport 7 is going end of life, so they put it on like super sale due to like licensing stuff, so they won't be able to sell it anymore. And I never bought it because it was on Game Pass, but I was like, if I want to make sure I have this for all time, I might as well buy it. So I bought the Ultimate Edition, which is usually like $120 thing, and it was $20. So
wow,
I picked that up because it comes with a VIP pass and free cars and all that other stuff. So I figured if I might as well grab it before it's gone because I have every other Forza. Why not get the latest one? And I played that a bit. They really don't change them all that much, but the night racing in this game is amazing because night racing is not an easy thing to replicate, especially with the way the lights work, and if you're playing in a cockpit view, the way you can see other cars and stuff. Usually in the daytime, it's easy to replicate, but night racing is a hard thing to do, especially before ray tracing was really a thing. Yeah. So I was really impressed with that. I was continuing my Final Fantasy VII Remake playthrough. I got through a couple more chapters in that. It's amazing how good that game is. Mm-hmm. For a person who thought I was going to hate the gameplay, I love it, and I'm so happy that they were able to change my mind. And I'm sure Mark can agree with me that it's going to be its own great series apart from Final Fantasy VII itself.
Yeah. The fun thing is I finally I didn't realize that I had both the PS4 and PS5 versions downloaded because that's what it makes you do.
Yep.
So I went through and I was, oh yeah, this game's pretty good. When I went to delete it so that I could get back on my bullshit of Call of Duty, which I haven't played yet. Because I needed 1,500 million gigabytes of space for that game.
Freaking
Accurate.
Call of Duty.
But anyway, so I think the main thing I'm looking forward to is what they, not to start a slight tangent of Final Fantasy VII Remake, for the next game, how much they integrate the good stuff from Remake with the integrate stuff that was or the intermission stuff.
Yeah.
That was good because doing, I don't know if I've asked you this since I thought of this or heard other people talk about it and popped into my head as an idea. Do you think doing the, what they did with Sonon in this and is an easy way to introduce like the large characters, like how many characters there are? Like, so you don't have to make them like Red 13 Sonon-like instead of making them full-fledged characters.
I think it would piss people off if they didn't make people playable. It's possible that they don't make people playable, like
Kate Sith.
Right? Because he's kind of useless to begin with in Final Fantasy VII, unless you're a big fat cheater.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows? They have so many options that they can go with. Kate Sith might be a good character to like not use, but people would get mad about like Sid and Vincent and Red 13 not being playable. People were mad about Red 13 not being playable in the first part. So
yeah, I was just thinking because the other option would be do the dumb thing that's outdated and have to take characters in and out.
I don't know that they will do it the way they did in the original game. Like you could only do it at save points. Yeah. I feel like they may just allow you to do it whenever now. Yeah. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just guessing.
The best example of it would be if they went FF10 style, but that was also made on the PS2 and it was a little bit easier to have all the characters have their own separate weapons and skill trees and all that stuff. Then it would be the upscale to do it here. I don't know. I'm just curious. I think they would have to bring like a Vincent and a Sid in as playable characters, but like your Kate Siths of the world, and you can, I don't know, maybe you might even be able to get away with Vincent doing the Sonon thing, and you can do all kinds of combo moves with the guns. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I just have been thinking about that since I last played the game, and I don't know if we've talked about it because it's been so long since we recorded.
Yeah, we have not talked about that, but yeah, that's an interesting thought. I mean, maybe since Vincent is technically a character you may not get, he's a side character, so I could see them possibly doing that with him. But I guess time will tell. I mean, they've surprised me once already, so who knows? Yeah,
and I'm waiting to get through Tokyo Game Show before I go with confidence and say 2023 instead of 2022.
Yeah, Tokyo Game Show, we might see some. Who knows? Yeah. Like Square could take 7 more years to do the second part. We don't know. They could Kingdom Hearts 3 it. I don't want them to, but they could. Just knowing them. All right, and the last thing I played, which was interesting, was the Back 4 Blood beta.
Ooh.
So, if anybody had any doubts about this being a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, let me tell you right now, it 100% is.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a whole lot new. The only real new thing that I found was that you can aim down sights now. Like in Left 4 Dead, I think the only thing you could aim down sights with was like a sniper rifle. You couldn't really aim down sights with anything else. But this plays more like a modern first person shooter. Same teammate dynamic. You got four co-op people trying to kill the horde, and birds cause the horde to show up if you run into them, just like Left 4 Dead, same type of deal.
Yeah.
Are there any witches to hug?
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
Yes, but they're not called witches. I forget what they're called in this game, but yeah, there's all kinds of stuff to screw with your teammates. Mark.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, so they don't call them witches. I guess what they call them, enhanced humans, or whatever the parlance is to get away of saying a copywritten word.
Yeah, I forget what they're calling everything in this. They're not. I don't think they call them zombies either. They call
Zambies. Got it.
Zambies.
Yeah, they call them something else, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It ran pretty well. I didn't have any problems, so I think it's going to be a lightweight game that we could all play together. We'll have to find a fourth because I don't want to play with randos.
Mm. Yeah.
I'm sure Jonathan would join us.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to say, I actually never minded playing with randoms with Left 4 Dead. I don't know why, because usually I don't enjoy playing with randoms, but I would still prefer to play with people I know, obviously.
Yeah, and I think we might have, speaking of games like this, we might have alternating fourth people for Halo. By the way, Tom,
yes.
We did some recruiting while you were out.
We did.
Okay.
We didn't do well, but we did well in that aspect.
So we have 2 people that would be willing to fill in the force.
Yep.
Awesome.
So we don't have to torture any more innocent people.
But we do have to find Beefy Gaines.
Yes, Beefy Gaines needs to go. He needs to die.
You didn't have Dr. Thunder this week?
No, Beefy Gaines was my mortal enemy this week.
Yeah. We also got killed by K-pop a whole lot.
Yeah, but then Jonathan killed K-pop, so
Jonathan wins. Jonathan
wins. K-pop is dead. Sorry, everyone.
Oh, that's great.
Wish we can clip that out. Just Jen saying K-pop is dead.
Someone feel free to make that a looping audio track.
Yeah, cut that out and put that on the Instagram, Jen.
Perfect. We'll do it. We'll get a lot of followers. I can feel it.
All right. So it's been a while since we recorded due to all kinds of fun stuff happening. So a lot's happened in the past few weeks. So Jen, you want to hit us with some news stories?
Sure. So my first story hits a little close to home because it's something that's been really frustrating. And luckily for me personally, it hasn't been too bad. But for a lot of people that I know,
shut down the servers on Phasmo?
No, I would be taking like the week off if that happened. I would be going like to the mountains to do some soul searching and meditating and stuff. But so if you've been on Twitch pretty much within the last 6 months, especially, this has always been going on, but within the past 6 months, even if you're just casually lurking in streams, you'd probably know that there's been an alarming increase in aggression towards streamers. People have been doing hate raids, which means that they're just getting a whole bunch of people. They'll go live for a second, look at a whole bunch of people who are just as shitty as they are, and then they'll raid a streamer and they'll just attack them. Follow botting, which is where people buy followers and then they spam someone's account to get Twitch to ban them because buying followers is not TOS. Or they'll make fake accounts and they'll just bombard people's chats with hate speech and threats and all that stuff. So this has been happening, like I said, a lot more over the last 6 months for whatever reason. And sadly, a lot of marginalized streamers, people of color, females, the queer community, they're experiencing, I would say, the brunt of this abuse. And, trolls are looking for certain Twitch tags, such as black or gender fluid, and they're directing these racist and hateful slurs at these streamers, or they're searching through categories like the pools and hot tub streams, and they're sexually harassing women. And it's disgusting.
Yeah.
So, Twitch is a site that brags about being diverse and inclusive, and they're really kind of letting people down in the sense that they're not really protecting streamers from this sort of stuff. If anything, they're more reactive, which is good, but people are urging them to be proactive. And, when I say reactive, when people have all this stuff happens, they're saying, just ignore them or report the bots, or why don't you set your chat to followers only or subs only so you don't have to worry about that. And that's unfair to a streamer because
why should the streamer have to make an exception for their own stream?
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of these fuckwads getting off the internet and being banned themselves.
Yeah. And doing stuff like that is vastly restricting the people who are willing to give your stream a chance in the first place. If you're a small streamer, it's pretty well known that a small streamer with their chat turned off to anyone but a follower or a sub has a much harder time attracting new viewers.
Yep.
Because it just seems unfriendly. Yeah. And, large streamers can do it easily and probably should sometimes, depending on how crazy their chat gets. But regardless, expecting streamers to limit their streams instead of dealing with these people, like these terrible, hateful people, is lazy and kind of offensive. So a Twitch streamer, I forget her name because I didn't put it in my notes. And I didn't really want to put her name out there to attract potentially more negativity. So a Twitch streamer got hate rated twice in one night because she was a woman of color and she had enough of it. So she went on Twitter and started the hashtag Twitch Do Better. And it has since become a trending hashtag. So Twitch, yes. So Twitch, seeing this, has finally started to address these issues. They've admitted they've identified a, quote, vulnerability in their proactive filters and have rolled out an update to close this gap and better detect hate speech in chat. And they're also promising to launch more safety features in the next few weeks, which would require deeper account verification. So whenever someone actually makes an account, they have to really prove that it's a legitimate thing.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah, for sure. And then also coming out with tools to prevent troll accounts from avoiding being banned. I don't know how one would do that, but apparently they're figuring out how to get around their system. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's implemented in the very near future, but it's just crazy. Like, it's got to stop. The hate, I don't know what possesses someone to want to attack someone else on such a
I'm
low level.
I'm just so sick of people who have to hide behind a keyboard.
Right.
And like the anonymity of the internet almost, I feel like, needs to go. Like, it used to be a thing. Everybody was anonymous on the internet. Then people started using their own real names. I feel like everybody should use a real name because of shit like that.
Yeah.
Give me a freaking break. Like, you have nothing better to do with your time than to go on someone's stream and tell them that you hate them because they're a certain color or they like a certain sex. Like, give me a break.
Yeah, it's really awful. And you'd like to think in 2021, you're like, oh, we're past that, but we're really not as a society, and it's really pathetic.
Yeah, it's some people get off on that and and then when you confront them, they just go, I'm just kidding. You can learn to take a joke. Oh
God, yeah, the whole I'm just joking bullshit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give me a break.
Yeah, it's like some people who not even that are actual nice people, you know, that especially and Tom can probably attest to this, and is that in some cases with some guys, it's like when we were growing up and stuff like that, you're like being mean and stuff like that was just busting someone's balls. Yeah. You know, it wasn't hate. So there are some people that don't know that difference and then, you know, cross the line, you know, and
let's not give them any excuses.
No, I'm not giving them excuses. I'm just saying, you know, it's just the fact that I'm tired of those people too that just don't want to learn at all, because they allow the platform for the actual dangerous people. Because if you have the people that are, you know, this is the way I used to joke with my brothers or my friends, so I'm sorry, you know, I won't do it to you. You know, Twitch and other places can't put any preventative stuff because then they ban people, you know, that may be, you know, not as bad as the really bad people. That's always the downside to the preventative stuff. And but it's on the platform to figure out how to fix that.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, they need to figure that shit out real fast.
Yeah. It's on them to figure that out. But that's the, you know, it's the line they have to walk, is that they, you know, don't want to start just, you know, randomly banning, you know, people that don't deserve it, and then, you know, it could be one of those things where, and then people leave the platform, and you know,
the other thing could be that your platform's now becoming the spot for white supremacists. Like,
it's
I would rather them ban more people than that happen.
Yeah, it's tough because you know, they should definitely put things in line, like Jen was saying, that they're trying to do here. But some things may end up hurting small streamers, you know, in the cases where it's like, okay, well, we're not allowing anybody that doesn't follow you. Like, they make permanent follower only chat, you know, as a way
they
to get out, and don't make it a toggle.
They need to just make it so that people can't just make up a brand new green name, go on, and then follow bot somebody. Like, you got to be able to figure that out.
Yeah, the problem is the technology, where those people are always going to be one step ahead sometimes, which sucks. So the things would be like they suggest to the people to put it on sub or follower only chat is probably the easiest way to avoid some of that stuff. But then again, it doesn't allow people to grow that aren't big. Right. So, you know, it's always, you have to have somebody that's working on it constantly. And I don't know if someone like Twitch will do that, you know.
They need to do something.
You know, because to stay ahead of them, you have to, you know, stay on top of what could be the next thing to break your system.
I mean, there are literally people that get paid to do that for Intel and AMD.
Yeah.
Twitch spends some money.
Yeah.
You are the biggest streaming platform in the world. Figure it out.
Yeah, it really sucks, and that's why YouTube sucks, because that's even worse in terms of moderation.
Yeah, it is. It's terrible.
And that's why we would probably never stream on YouTube or anything like that. For us personally. But it's just it's the double-edged sword with, they put the tags on for the people to show the inclusivity and, find the community and all that stuff. But on the flip side, that also opens it up to the stuff Jen was mentioning. And I think the goal, and maybe they're working on this, is trying to find a way to not have that, be a problem. To keep the tags, but don't make them be like a bullseye.
Well, that's the problem, is that's what they're turning into.
Yeah. So, but if you eliminate that, then you could also, people say that it'll make it hard to find a community on Twitch,
Right.
Sort of with that thing. But like you said, they make so much money, they should be able to figure this out.
100%.
Yep.
There's no
proactive, not reactive.
Zero excuse.
Yeah.
There's reasons the other streaming platforms like Hitbox and all that stuff, failed. Because they weren't ready for the the things you need to take care of, even Mixer for a good bit, and they couldn't get the right community to come over and stay with that stuff. Twitch somehow got huge while still having this really terrible bottom feeding part that we all know about, and still stay popular. And I don't know. Yeah, people get paid a lot more money to figure out how to fix this than I, sitting here,
right,
can. So,
yeah, me too.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't see a solution, a very easy one. But then again, I don't get paid almost six figures to figure it out. So
somebody does, and
they have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to within the next few weeks hearing about these changes that are happening. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll try to keep it updated.
I just hope it doesn't turn into the thing, as I said earlier, where they make it permanent follower only chat.
No, they can't.
Because that would be the worst choice.
I don't think they could do that. A lot of people would leave Twitch, I think, if that happened.
Yep. They'd go to Facebook.
Yeah, I was just going to say Facebook. It's like the only other place now.
Yeah, there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
Or YouTube.
Right, which is worse.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just, you got to hope they come up with a good solution and not the easiest solution, which, is the one everyone's going to hate.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So, yeah, like I said, we'll share some updates if and hopefully when they come about. So moving on to a small update on our Switch killer. Valve is now aiming to make the Stream Deck ready for Windows 11 specifically. We've been aware that it would be able to run Windows 10. We just weren't sure how well it would work, or they weren't sure how well it would work. But they have confirmed that this has been a heavy focus for them, which is definitely good news. Unfortunately, the real update that I wanted to be able to give you is not happening yet, which is whether or not the Stream Deck will be able to run games with the anti-cheat software. I'm talking about Dead by Daylight, Fortnite, Apex, etc. The really big moneymakers in the gaming industry right now.
The games people want to play.
Yeah, aka the games people are playing right now. And this, in my opinion, could be a huge factor in its success or its failure. It would also personally turn me off from purchasing this should these games not be able to run on there. Obviously, I could still play other games, but I think it would just make me so annoyed that those games are being, left out, that I wouldn't even want to spend the $600, $700, however much it is for the best memory, I forget. But I wouldn't want to spend that much money on something that they just, we're just not going to fix it. We're just not going to put any time into it. It's fine. They have claimed that they're working with BattleEye and Easy Anti-Cheat to get support for Proton. So while having Windows compatibility will avoid the issue of literally not being able to run these games with the anti-cheat features, the interface itself is not currently suited for a small screen. And most likely there will be a bunch of other issues as well that would come about. So I'm looking forward to seeing what other updates we get in the future. Hopefully by the time that, November rolls around, we'll already have had good news that they fixed it and that it's going to work. Or I'll probably be canceling my $5 deposit and holding off and seeing if they ever get it to work. That's just me. If anyone out there listening still wants to go for it, please, by all means. But that's how I feel about it right now. I think that's my big deciding factor.
I mean, so have they decided if they're shipping it with a Linux-based operating system?
Yeah, I believe it's Linux, but you can also use Windows 10 or 11.
Okay.
So.
Well, I'll see.
Yep.
Only time will tell at this point.
Yeah, and we're pretty consistently getting updates, which is nice. So we'll continue to report what we hear.
Which is weird because Valve doesn't update anything.
Yeah, and they're keeping on track so far. So fingers crossed. My next story is a little bit of a weird one, but also hilarious and hits close to home in a good way. So, okay, imagine this, right? We've all been there before, playing a game of Halo in the early 2000s. You're locked in an epic battle with beefy gains, and they've killed you like 12 times in a row. And then you finally take them out. And what do? You obviously stand over them and you teabag them, right?
Yes.
Like just to drive it home that they suck.
100%.
Yeah. So during Halo Infinite's beta last month, players were surprised to find that the bots were teabagging them after taking them out. So people, of course, went on YouTube and they're posting their clips. And they're like, what the heck is happening? So 343 has confirmed that they did not program the bots to teabag people.
That's bullshit.
And
they totally did.
They're claiming it's a glitch. And they're saying, we're creating the bots for the purpose of making a friendly gaming experience and fun. And they would never program them to taunt a player.
That is fun.
Oh, of course, it's super fun. They're saying that the glitch appears to happen when the bots try to jump or like go up the stairs and they get stuck in their animation. So it looks like they're crouching, but they're really trying to jump, apparently.
Yeah, but they're on top of the person.
Well,
so they're
the videos that I've seen, yes, some of them are on top of the person, but they're like, oh, they're just trying to jump. Or they're in the distance, which is even funnier because this person will like get shot and fall. And then in the few seconds where they could still see your body, you could see the bot in the background going like boop, 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 boop. So funny. I find it hilarious, obviously, that a bot would be teabagging me and knowing that it's not a real player. But that's just me.
I would find that funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It feels like the bots have a personality.
Right.
So, I don't know. Let us know if you've been teabagged by a bot in Halo Infinite beta.
That's so good.
In Halo Infinite beta.
I wish they would just come out and say, yeah, we put that in there. Come on.
If you work at some engineering place and you have been teabagged by a bot, please let us know that as well.
Yeah, we're here for you. Let us know. So my last story is not gaming related necessarily, but it's sort of related. Yeah, it's adjacent because of cryptocurrencies and crypto mining and stuff.
Oh,
you know how that's affecting all of us. So on August 10th, this is a crazy story with a sort of happy ending. So on August 10th, hackers assuming the name, so it's at least one person, assuming the name of Mr. White Hat, stole $610 million in cryptocurrency through a vulnerability that they discovered in Poly Network, which is basically a middleman financing platform.
Like and Robinhood.
They do peer-to-peer transactions. So if you have Bitcoin and you want to send funds to someone that has a different cryptocurrency, they cover whatever has to happen for that to take place. Okay. I literally know nothing about cryptocurrency, so I'm going to do my best to explain.
That makes sense. They have to cover the transaction fee.
Right. So the hackers basically discovered a way to route the funds to themselves instead of the intended user. So now they are officially declared as criminals of a major economic crime, which is something that they will be seen as in any country in the world.
Wow.
Because that's how much money they stole. So Poly Network was great about this. They realized the theft, I'm sure, almost immediately, and urged the hackers to return the funds. And they were also able to identify 3 digital wallets that belonged to the hackers. And they posted the addresses of the digital wallets. And they told people, blacklist any tokens coming from these addresses because they wanted to make the money worthless. So they basically turned $610 million in cryptocurrency into exploded die packs.
That's smart.
Yes. So luckily, everyone made quick work of blacklisting these tokens. So now Poly Network is telling their clients, we're going to fully recover all these assets. This is our goal. And have since reported that within the last couple of days since the hack took place, Mr. Whitehat has returned more than half of the funds already. And they're expecting this person to return the rest shortly. They came out with a big statement that they sent to this person. And they basically said, you're a criminal of major economic crime in any country in the world right now. You need to work with us on this. So wild and crazy stuff, but
maybe
hopefully
people will stop using cryptocurrency.
maybe.
I doubt it, but we can
Doubtful,
hope.
yeah.
We can hope, can't we?
This person was crazy, or people were crazy, and I actually learned that the term Mr. White Hat is actually like Robin Hood, essentially, like you're stealing for the benefit of doing something good. So they have made no indication of what they were intending on doing with this money. So whether or not their name has any indication of that, I don't know. But yeah.
Unless you're giving it to homeless people or, people who need it, I personally don't see that happening.
Right.
I'm sure they just took it for themselves.
Yeah, I don't know. It's craziness.
Yeah, this makes it seem like this person was like, oh no, like if they got caught going, no, I was doing it for the good of the company. I wasn't. Yeah. It's not illegal. Don't arrest me.
Listen, I had the best intentions.
I mean, isn't this the plot to Superman 4?
Probably.
Or Office Space?
Yeah.
It's like the same thing.
Yeah. Interesting, right? So.
Weird.
Hopefully within the next few days, whoever lost their money to this person or people will get it back. But I have to commend Poly Network for doing the ballsy thing and just broadcasting the information of the hackers to people, because that's what it takes sometimes to get these people to stop or to, shut them down. So good on them.
Yeah, good for them. I'm happy they did something about it.
Yeah. So that's all of our news for now.
Okay. Lots of stuff happening.
Lots of
hopefully people will stop using cryptocurrencies so we can buy graphics cards.
Here's the summary. Stop being an asshole.
Yes.
Stop stealing shit and stop cheating. The end.
Speaking of which, I think a new graphics card came out this week. Yeah. Yesterday?
It was in the 6,000s, right?
The 6600 XT, which was a flaming pile of shit, apparently.
Didn't it sell below retail MSRP?
I think it actually sold at MSRP, but it's not a good card. Like they basically took an old card and stuck a new name on it and charged $100 more.
Oh, that's kind.
That's real nice, AMD.
What did we just talk about? No cheating, people. Come on.
Right. You should know better. Damn it.
Bad. You're bad.
All right. So.
Yeah. One thing before we exit the news.
Sure.
Because something else real crazy went on the week. We don't need to dive into it. All I have to say is, fuck the executive people at Activision Blizzard. They can go to hell.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I didn't want to get into that because that would have taken us a million years. But yes, I agree.
All right.
Totally.
Yes, that is the name of this show.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I was going through Reddit and I saw someone ask the question, what video game franchises do you love that you would like to see revived? And I thought that's a great idea. I know I have a few, and I'm curious as to what Mark and Jenny do, because again, we're all kind of from slightly different gaming era spaces. So especially now in the times of remakes and remasters, I would think that this would be the perfect time to try to pitch bringing back an old gaming franchise. So we're going to bring you a few of them that we think, I think it'd be a good one. So we'll start with Mark.
Yeah. So I'm going to pick one that might be a little weird. And it was, I don't know exactly how you would do it, or there's probably other games, like separate games that do this, but I would like to have them bring back the California Games series.
Okay.
From the NES. Because I just love these, not stupid's the wrong word. I'm trying to think the random games that were on there, outside of the skateboarding, which became a bigger thing, but, being able to do surfing and hacky sack and, just those little non-traditional sports. and or competitions and stuff. Just was something I played all the time on NES, the NES version. Like I said, they probably have multiple games that encompass this, but I would like one central game for it that has all this stuff. It could even be free to play, whatever. But that was one. I thought I'd start off with my weird one, which is it's a game that I played a whole bunch and would definitely pick up again to just have to play. Sort of like even if they just remastered the original California games.
Yep.
And didn't add anything, it would be like my purchase of Rare Replay just for RC Pro-Am. I would just buy that game just to basically just play hacky sack, to be honest. If we're gonna confess here.
Totally get it.
So I thought I'd kick it off like I did with the last one, or one of the last categories with the weird answer.
That's a good one. I mean, Jen, I'm sure you've never played California games.
No, I haven't.
So like Mark said, it's just a bunch of different types of games thrown into one. I know they had released it on PC and it was an NES game also. So
yeah, it was probably on Commodore and Amiga and all that stuff at that time frame period too.
But it was an interesting thing to put out. Like something you wouldn't expect.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jen, how about you?
So I guess I'll go with the weirder one too. So The Secret of Monkey Island, the Monkey Island franchise I picked. And this is a franchise I honestly totally forgot about until I sat down to really think about this list that we were putting together today. And then it occurred to me that this amazing little game that I used to play in college was no more. And it made me really sad. And I figured maybe so many other people who once loved it maybe have forgotten about it. So this is my pitch. If you don't know what this game is, it's to put it simply, it's a series of point and click adventure games following the main character whose name is Guybrush Threepwood, and he wants to become the most infamous and accomplished pirate in the Caribbean. It was apparently first released in 1990, and then since its release, we got Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge in 1991, The Curse of Monkey Island in 97, Escape from Monkey Island in 2000, and The Tales of Monkey Island in 2009, which is a remake of the first game. And unfortunately, since then, the franchise has come to an end. And although some people might think it's a bit childish, it obviously has very outdated graphics, I believe that there's this amazing opportunity to remake this series. I personally would love to play through the games with these beautiful, realistic, modern graphics while still preserving its pirate storyline, the puzzles, and it has this like really silly, childish humor that it's almost like telling like dad jokes or fart jokes. Like it's dumb and it's childish, but everyone loves those kinds of jokes. Like that's the humor in those games. And overall, I just think there would be so many nostalgic players like me who would be so excited to have it reinvented. You know, you could pick up the games on Steam, I believe, right now, but I think it would be so cool for them to, to go in there and remake and just modernize it and make it, preserve what makes it great, and hopefully even open it up to a whole new generation of gamers that have no idea what it is. It would definitely be very different from all the games that are out now. You have all of the, FPS games and the, online multiplayers and stuff, battle royales. So I think it would be awesome.
It's unfortunate that the point and click genre has kind of gone the way of the dodo.
Yeah.
Telltale was doing a pretty good job with it until they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
And they just Telltale doesn't exist anymore, correct?
No.
I'm pretty sure, right? They went out of business when they were doing The Walking Dead and all that other stuff.
Yeah, because they did way too many.
They did way too many, and they all towards the end they were all broken.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they did Batman, and thought they had an Avengers one maybe or something.
Yeah, they did. They did a Borderlands one. They did multiple. What's it called? Multiple Walking Dead ones. They did just about every. They pretty much took anything you could and made it a point and click adventure game with some action scenes thrown in. But for me, the most nostalgic thing about Monkey Island is the music.
Yeah, the music was so good.
It's honestly one of those games that a lot of retro PC enthusiasts will use to test audio, and to me that's really cool. I think
cool.
I do the same thing. Like if I get a different sound card, I try Monkey Island on it just to see what it sounds like, because it was kind of built at a time when hardware for sound cards there was a huge spectrum of what you could get. You get something that sounded amazing, or you could get something that was bleeps and bloops. So to me, that would be really cool to see Monkey Island come back. I think that's a great idea.
Thanks.
I'm going to go with the obvious one for me. I'm going to say F-Zero. The F-Zero.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a feeling you were going to say that.
The F-Zero franchise has been dormant since the GameCube with F-Zero GX. And you have the Switch, where they've come out with so many F-Zero like clones at this point that you could just do it better and make your own. And F-Zero GX is so good. It just blows my mind that they decided, well, we're not going to make these anymore. They still have Captain Falcon in Smash Brothers, but they don't make F-Zero games anymore. Like, more people know Captain Falcon from Smash Brothers than they do from F-Zero. A lot of people don't even know F-Zero exists. Like, anybody like who started playing video games after the GameCube would have no idea where Captain Falcon came from. It'd be like me with all the Fire Emblem characters.
Yeah.
But I just feel like there's room for a fast-paced space racing game where, we need that 60 FPS racer on a Switch. Maybe for the Switch, whatever this quote-unquote Switch Pro comes out, that should be a launch game for it. I'm calling it now.
Yeah.
There you go.
You heard it here, folks.
That's right. All right, let's go around again. That was a good first three.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mark, what do you got next?
The one game that I've only played, I played all the editions, but I go back to mainly the first two. But I think they need to make a upscale, better version of Road Rash.
Okay, that's a good one too.
Road Rash, for those who don't know, is a racing game where you're on motorcycles, but you get to knock out your opponents, like either with a fist, a nightstick, a chain. I think they've added other weapons in 3, and I think the one on 64 had stuff. But just the base thing, and you would be able to, as you won races, upgrade your bikes. And as much as I played that game, I've only made it really to the second section, like 1 or 2 times. It's kind of like my RC Pro-Am thing, where I played it so much, but I never really got to, like you got to a part in the game that I had never seen before. And I played that game constantly for almost 25 years.
Yeah.
So Road Rash is the same for me, and I think it would work in today's day and age with that stuff. It'd be a great online game because it was out before online was big or at all. Because I don't think it was on any system that was online. It would work as an online multiplayer. You could even do co-op and have teams. And stuff like that. Yeah, I think I don't know if motorcycles are as big as they were back then, but I just think that's a good alternate to a lot of the games that are out there that are mostly car focused. Let's bring back the motorcycle.
No, I think Road Rash is a great pick. I mean, I'm pretty sure there has not been a Road Rash since, like you said, Road Rash 64, and that's the kind of game that needs to make a comeback. Yeah. Vehicular combat games pretty much are gone to begin with, and
if you believe the rumors, we're going to be getting a new Twisted Metal soon. So. Oh
yay! Another Twisted Metal. Like, give me Twisted Metal 2. Just remaster Twisted Metal 2.
And just to jump on my point, I know it was a slight joke, but my thing is if you can give me Road Rash without needing it to you're just a racer with your name, and there's names of other racers. They're not these caricatures, and there's not all that stuff. I think that game has a place as I know I said the same thing about California games, but it has a place as even a, free to play game, online, where you can buy skins to make your guy look different, or girl. Sorry, I use guy in the general sense. I think it could work that way, and I think it's the one thing that frustrates me with Twisted Metal. Even though I did beat the most recent one, I rented it from Redbox and beat it in 2 nights. So that shows you how much that game was not worth $50.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't as good multiplayer when I played it with my cousin. So it's just that the characters all feel old in terms of, they were cool and edgy in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they're not anymore. So that's where my defense of a Road Rash thing is. It can just be generic characters. Like as soon as I start up Road Rash 2, after like halfway through the first race, I remember the names of every of the enemy bikers.
Yep.
Because it's the same ones through each circuit. So you get to start having mini in your head rivalries with like
sometimes
we did
they're
with
real.
games.
If you start hitting a certain person over and over, they will come after you.
Yeah, it's like our beefy gains, but for AI people. So yeah. Those were the 2 games I mentioned. The first 2 that popped in my head, just because it's just things we don't have out there right now, and I think could, in the way games are consumed nowadays, could definitely have a place and make a comeback.
Yeah, totally agree. That's a great pick. All right, Jen, how about you?
So my second one is not going to be surprising to either of you. It is my obvious choice, and that is bringing back the Dead Space franchise.
Oh, good one.
So, it debuted in 2008, and it very quickly became known as one of the most intensely horrifying, gory fantasy game franchises. You have the necromorphs, which are just disturbing, and other disturbing imagery as well. You have the intensely eerie music, the plasma cutter weapon, which was awesome, and just how great your character Isaac Clarke is with the suit. And I could just go on for forever about why this game is amazing. It keeps you on edge the whole time. There's this never-ending anxiety that you're going to die at all times. And trust me, it's amazing. If you've never played, and that might not sell it to you, but it's great.
Yeah.
And they came out with Dead Space 2 in 2011, and that did well. But then unfortunately, Dead Space 3 just murdered it for everybody. It came out in 2013, and people were really unhappy with the fact that it went from being on this really intensely terrifying, isolating space station to an ice planet. And everyone was like, what did you do to our game? So unfortunately, Visceral Games disbanded in 2014. So Dead Space 4 never happened. So I'd absolutely love for what's happening with the Resident Evil franchise to happen with Dead Space.
Jen.
Where what? What?
I have good news for you.
Yes,
What?
we have good news, Jen.
Go ahead.
They're remaking Dead Space 1.
See, I was just going to say, I want a remake of the first game.
It's
That's
coming.
amazing. Okay,
It's coming.
so after the remake of the first game, I want a remake of the second game, pretend the third game didn't exist, and then launch a brand new game in place of the third game. So there you go.
There you go.
If you wish it, it will happen.
It'll happen. That's right.
Yes, I was
Just to let
like-
you know, game's a few years off, probably. They just showed, look up the trailer. It was in the EA Play 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's why I didn't watch.
So, you might like the small trailer. But no, that's an excellent choice because everybody was screaming for that.
Yes.
for
Seriously,
years.
I was going to say, with what's happening with Resident Evil, they did such a good job with RE2. And I just envisioned that after playing RE2, I'm like, this needs to happen with Dead Space. Like, everyone's going to love the original Dead Space, but come back out with it and,
Yeah, the fact that they're actually doing it means you may have the best choice of any of our list.
Maybe, yeah.
That's a great one. The thing I love about Dead Space, besides the fact that I won't play it, is the fact that you go through the game and there's not really a HUD. Like, there's no HUD.
Yeah, I love it.
So it kind of, I feel like it engrosses you a little more because you're there. The only way you could tell how much health you have is by the things on his spine.
Yes, yeah. And just a side note, that has been a cosplay goal of mine for so long, to make a glowing LED suit, like mech suit.
Good
whatever
luck.
they call it. Yeah, exoskeleton suit. It looks so cool.
It sounds like a lot of work.
Oh yeah, it definitely would be. And I'm nowhere near on the level to do that, but one day, that's my goal.
Yeah. So, and one of my favorite parts, I love Dead Space 2 more than 1, which maybe Slate blasts me. I just don't like the slowness of the first game, despite how scary it is. The slight more action in 2 is what sells it for me, but I could see either way with those. But my favorite part of both of those games is that it was one of the first games that I saw, and there may have been games that did it before that, but that made dismemberment, a core strategy in fighting enemies.
Yeah, that's a big part of Dead Space.
Yeah, making sure if they're a fast enemy, you want to shoot their legs off first.
Yep.
And then you can shoot their arms off and then use their arms to kill them if you want to.
Yeah.
There was actually an achievement or something for like beating the entire game with just the enemy's arms.
Of course there is.
Something like that. Or killing a certain amount of enemies with their own arms. But yeah, Dead Space, for all the reasons you mentioned, is exactly why the remake that is, or remake or remaster, whatever, they're probably a remake, needed to happen. EA needed something like this,
For sure.
And they're going to try it with Mass Effect. The route that they're probably going to go with Dead Space is make the remake and then make a new game. But like for all the reasons you mentioned, is exactly why Dead Space should be. That hopefully it does not fall apart. The announced remake.
Yeah.
Because it will sell.
Sad. Yeah.
Just like the Legendary Edition sold for Mass Effect.
Yeah, it's such a, obviously I personally feel, from delving even more into horror than I ever have recently, there's such an uptick of horror game fans, like people looking for something new. Like there's so many even paranormal investigation games because of Phasmo. So I feel like Dead Space is such a unique thing in itself. Like it's a space horror. So, it's not going to be super similar to other things that are even out right now or in the next couple of years, most likely.
Yeah.
So I think it's great.
And I 100% think that this remake got started, or the seed got planted, when Resident Evil 2 remake sold as many copies as it did.
Oh, definitely.
That's so funny how I use that as my example, because that's truly what made me think of, wow, they really need to do this with Dead Space. That's so funny. Yeah.
That has to be why they did it.
Yeah.
Because,
we're a huge factor.
It was just like, hey, we have this game franchise that would do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not like I actually think this is more likely to happen quicker than all the people screaming for Skate 4 for so long. Because that's probably way more off than any of us know.
Well, I don't think it was even like they still haven't really shown anything from it. So that tells me that it was not I don't think that people knew they were going to work on it till they announced it that day.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah. So I think there was more of a game plan here for EA.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you mentioned, Visceral split up, disbanded. So I think some of the old devs are back working on this. I don't know, I don't know if it's probably not the same leads and stuff like that, but hopefully it does what RE2 did.
Yeah.
I
think it will. I'm so excited. I can't believe that I missed that, but I can because I usually don't pay attention to anything EA related. But I'm so happy. I'm excited.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm going to throw in another EA game. They need to bring back SSX. The SSX franchise is long dead. I don't think they came out with one on the 360 and that was it. Then they never did anything with it after that.
Can we also bring back a publisher and just bring EA Big back?
EA Big doesn't it still exist?
Yeah, in some form.
In some form or another. But yeah. SSX was just a goofy, fun, like snowboarding game. Those don't really exist. Everything has gone super realistic.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say what was the latest one? I can't remember the name of it. Steep. Yeah.
The one that actually looks good was in your goofy sense, but not in the full way. Was that Riders Republic?
Yeah,
looked like it had some goofy elements to it.
Yeah, it's not quite as goofy as SSX, because SSX you can like take your board off and spin it in the air and stuff, and I just love that for someone who likes, more realistic stuff, it's also nice to have stuff like that too. It's like just like someone who likes Skate versus someone who likes Tony Hawk. It's kind of the same type of thing. And I had a lot of fun. There's SSX3 is one of my favorite games on the Xbox, and I just feel like even if you just just remaster SSX3, I'll be happy. It's just like Jen with Dead Space. I think I'd be fine with them remastering SSX3, and I'd be all right with that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's my second one. Mark, did you have any more?
I'm gonna say a weird one.
Okay.
Because I don't know how you would exactly do this, or if it'd even be fun or profitable. But they need to bring this will be like a general tag, but I'll put it on one game. They need to bring back some really weird puzzle games and things in the vein of something like a Marble Madness.
Okay.
Where it's like, all right, here's a obstacle course, you're a marble, go. Like just those weird games on NES and stuff like that as a genre that was just like a concept, and they built a whole game around it. More than, characters and stuff like that. I don't know. When I was thinking about these things, Marble Madness popped in my head, and I'm like, how you really... I know they have the marbles thing that they do on stream, the marble racing.
Yeah.
That's not the same, but...
I mean, the only thing akin to that now, and they're actually now coming out with a new one, is Super Monkey Ball.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
I mean, you're a giant marble, or in this case, a ball with a monkey in it.
Yeah, but in the maybe Marble Madness wasn't the perfect example, but I just wanted the concept of like just weird, like one-off, like puzzle game, like things you would find in like a back corner of an arcade.
Mm-hmm.
Those type of games that used to pop up on NES. I don't know. Maybe I'm just having some nostalgia for NES for some reason.
That's what it sounds like, Mark.
But it's just, I just love the idea. Like when I was scrolling through, my complete NES catalog that I totally own and have on a shelf, and not on a flash drive, and just some of the just random games that would be on there that were just like, use the hardware the way it could, and would just be addicting. Like they were the console versions of Quarter Munchers in the arcade. And I don't think there's a lot of that nowadays. Free to plays come close, but it's not exactly the same. But yeah, I just, between California games and this, it was just like, maybe I'm coming to things like, I just want some simple games that don't require me, and it might be maybe getting older too, that don't require me to need to play 20, 30 hours. Like just something I could pop on, always start from the beginning, do a few levels, get to where I die, turn it off for the night, come back the next day, do this,
Yeah, I get it.
Repeat thing, just as a meditative like thing. And I think there is a niche for that. But that was the last thing I was thinking about.
Yeah, I have one more, and it's kind of cheating because it's not really a franchise, but the Chrono series from Square, Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross. I would love to see another one of those. Even though they're technically they're not sequels. They kind of are, but they're kind of not. I would love to see
Chrono in it.
What's that?
No. I'm saying I'm the character, not the name.
No, the Chrono from Chrono Trigger was not in Chrono Cross.
Oh, okay, I thought he was. Okay,
no,
so
not that I know of.
I never played Chrono Cross, so.
Somebody fact-checked me, but I'm 99% sure that he's not in the game.
It's a 10 out of 10 game that I've heard from some people that I've never bothered to pick up.
Well, Mark, it may happen because it's in the list.
Nice. But I played Chrono Trigger. I've never beaten it, but I played it enough to over the years and multiple starts and stops on it. But yeah.
Yeah. So that's our list. Let us know what you think should come back. If you think one of the games we decided should come back, let us know. I'd be interested to hear what everybody thinks. And if there's anything that we didn't talk about that you'd want to see, let us know on Twitter. We always love continuing these conversations on Twitter. All right. So we go from games that we really like to a game that I know I didn't like.
Yeah.
we're going to talk about Grand Theft Auto 2, our Retro Roulette game this week. And I'm going to let Jen start because I'm pretty sure it's fresh in her mind, and I'm sure she's got some thoughts.
I'm going to come in hot. I'm just going to warn you guys.
Coming in hot here.
Coming in hot, as always. I honestly don't have too much to say about this game because I could barely play it. I instantly hated the top-down view, and to make it even worse, the controls are inverted most of the time, and it's extremely difficult to get used to it, in my opinion. It's really hard, or it was really hard for me to accurately switch directions, turn a corner, whatever, which makes this game really, like, pretty much unplayable for me. I found out that driving is a bit easier than running on foot with the controls, which is weird, but that's what I felt. There's no mini map, so I was, lost the whole time. I thought that I was running in between buildings, and all of a sudden I was on top of the buildings. I'm like, what is going on? It's also very vague. I didn't even get past the tutorial. Let me just say that. It's very vague on what you have to do, even with the tutorial. And, obviously it's pretty cut and dry. You have to follow one of the colored arrows, and they bring you to a telephone, and it tells you this is your job that you're accepting. And that seems simple enough, except there's no map. So I kept running into dead ends. And like I said, ending up on top of buildings. I'm like, where am I supposed to go? And once I got into a car, of course, every 5 feet, there's a flipping police car that I slam into. And then it's like, we got to kill you now. I literally couldn't get past. I literally almost couldn't get past the first phone call that I picked up, which was going to get a guy, picking him up, and bringing him to like a doctor's office or something. I forget exactly what the quest was, but it was like the dumbest, probably most simple thing to do. And I just couldn't get through it at first. And I had to walk away for a while. And then I went back to my computer to shut the game off, enraged. And then I was like, you know what? F this. I'm going to try this again because this game cannot win me like that. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so
I do.
I started playing it again, and I got a little bit better. I jumped in a car right away. So I got better with the whole, driving and stuff with the car. I made it through the first quest where I dropped the guy off. Then I found another phone, and this one was for I had to blow up a business.
Yep.
So the bomb was crap, and then I had to like destroy their car, and it was just terrible. I did it, and after that, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like, it's just so bad. And these people were chasing me with guns, and every time I was on foot and they were trying to murder me, I like couldn't figure out how to shoot the gun. And I kept dying, and it was just really pathetic. And anyone, if I had played this on stream, people would have unfollowed us in droves. Like, it would have been bad. It's so bad.
It was pretty bad with me doing it. So believe me, I understand. I understand where you're coming from here.
Yeah, it was just an endless cycle of horrible experiences after horrible experience. I literally, like, when I first picked it up and started playing, and I was thinking it would be, even though it was the D-pad where you were controlling, where you were facing when you ran, I still expected it to be a little bit more like you were using the analog stick, slightly more accurate. But this one, it's like when you're on foot, you just spin in a circle sometimes because it's sensitive, but it's not at the same time. It's awful. I hate this game. Like I said, I gave up on the tutorial before I could finish it, which is unfortunate. I don't like doing that. Maybe back when this first came out, I would have given it more effort, but it's just not worth my time. Like, I'm sorry for anyone. I know there are people out there who absolutely love this game. I get it. It's nostalgic, or, maybe it's one of the first games you started playing, or you love it for other reasons. Maybe you like to torture yourself. I don't know. It's not for me. I'm done.
Okay. I totally understand. I played it, so yeah. I get it. Mark, how about you?
Yeah, so I made it a little bit further than Jen. I was actually able to get enough money to save. So that was a couple successful missions.
How much money did you have to get? I'm sorry. How much money was it?
50,000.
Okay, I was at 24 when I quit. Okay. Yeah. Continue.
And if you don't get enough, you can't save, which means if you turn off the game, you have to
start it all over.
Yeah, which I did.
That's the worst part of this game. Even though a lot of the stuff Jen described is pretty terrible, but the fact that you literally need to complete missions, to save the game. Like, you can't just save at any point. It's definitely a relic of its time with that.
So is that like for the entire game, you always have to maintain a certain amount of money in order to continue saving it?
Yeah. It's
What?
$50,000 every time you save.
Every time you save, it's $50,000. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's why I said it's the worst part of the game.
It absolutely is, yeah.
So I remember playing this game when it came out, and I think I haven't been able to borrow GTA 1 off my Uncle Vim yet to see if that one's better, because I remember playing a lot of the first game when it first came out. This game, if anything, without the comparison, I can't be 100% sure on these opinions, but this game just seemed rushed, and it had ideas that they couldn't fully capitalize on. Like the idea of 3 different factions that you build a meter up to, and all that is very ambitious for the time. And I think that's mainly where the game fails, is it tries to do too much at once, on top of having the inverted controls and the top-down camera angle, and the inability to really avoid the cops after you get any kind of warning or any kind of like alarm.
Yeah, as soon as they are notified, they are on your ass.
Yeah.
It's not like the other games. It is amazing, and I think I said this on stream, that this game became the franchise it did, and that the next game is so much better.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even kind of close.
It's like insane.
Like, we just talked about franchises that need to be resurrected. I have no idea how this game got to a 3.
Right.
To be able to, get to the heights where it is now, where it has a game that's been released on 3 different generations of consoles.
I think luckily for them, their theme is what carried them and not the second game. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, the idea behind it is what carried it forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the idea and not having good enough hardware to do it kind of drove it.
Yeah. And as much of bastards as the Housers are, they believed in that concept. And that is why we got 3, 4, and 5. It's because they're like, no, it can work. We'll show you, And they did, besides being probably slightly terrible people. Their persistence allegedly their persistence got us to where we were with that. I mean, we did get a great game like Bully and table tennis. That's one of my favorite things, is that Rockstar table tennis.
It's a classic. Don't let anybody tell you it's not.
It's a really good table tennis game. But that was my thoughts going through this game. I'm like, I have no idea how they made it. I could see some of the outlines for the future games, especially the factions thing in it, being a precursor to the missions with the person's name, the letter of the person's name on the map. But the lack of a mini map and it being top down is inexcusable. And I don't know if they were trying to do like, well, you'll get immersed in the city and you'll get to learn the streets as though you're actually there.
Well, I gotta be fair. I imagine that it came with a map. Like, if you purchased it when it came out, I imagine it came with a map. Not that it would help all that much, but I imagine, like, I'm pretty sure GTA 3 and Vice City came with a map in the booklet. So we'll be a little fair there, but it's not enough. It's not nearly enough to help.
That's it.
Okay, you're okay. I just wanted to add that in there, just to play devil's advocate. But
Mark's out.
If Mark's out, I guess I'm tagging in, and I'm going to continue shitting on this game because my God, it's terrible. I remember being a kid playing this on PC. And I don't know if it's the fact that maybe mouse and keyboard worked better for this game than a controller. I don't know, because playing it on a controller was, like Jen said, was nearly unplayable. You can't control where you're going. You can't shoot anybody. Like, there's no aim assists or anything, which you would need in a game like this because it's impossible to aim from the top down view. So I don't know. It just, the whole thing blew my mind when I started playing it because I'm on stream and I'm like, all right, this should be fun. This should be a fun little romp through this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I then realized I had fucked up because it was not fun. I must have done, I was doing the tutorial and all of a sudden I died and like the tutorial was over. Like they didn't give me a chance to go back and do the tutorial again. So I literally, once I died all over again, I got to go back through and do the tutorial again, even though I didn't finish it the first time. It was just weird. The whole thing is weird.
Mm-hmm.
And like, even when you're doing the tutorial, like you're running around and stuff, and if you go too far away from where the guy is talking, it cancels the whole thing and you got to start it over.
Yeah.
It's like, what were they thinking doing that? It just blows my mind. And I know people love this and people think, oh, this is the, well, maybe not the best, but this is what GTA was all about back then. But the fact that there's no mini map and you can't tell where you're going totally kills the game for me. Like there was no mini map in GTA 3 either, but in a 3-dimensional environment, you could kind of tell, like once you learn it, you can see it and it's not as bad. But in this environment, a top-down environment where everything looks the same, it's just a complete nightmare.
Yeah.
Like I wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. So 3 had a regular map, right? Because I don't think this even had a regular map.
Right. 3, you could pull up a map. Like you could stop the game and pull up a map, but you can't. This didn't have any kind of map at all, unless you can like buy one or find one. But
yeah, which we did.
I didn't get that far. So yeah, that was one of the worst experiences I've had on Retro Roulette, and I've had some bad ones.
I was going to ask you, do you think this tops Super Mario 64, the ice level?
That was just a bad day because I went on to play that later on stream.
Yeah.
And did way better when you were not doing so well.
Yes. But like the whole experience you had, like the feeling of just being so frustrated that day versus this past one, which one was worse?
Mario 64 was worse.
Yeah.
Because it's a game I know I can beat.
That's a good point. Yeah. That's what made it worse.
That's what made it worse. But this game, I just was all beyond frustrated with the whole thing. So it's not like there was anything like specifically fun about it. Like I couldn't tell you one thing that was like, oh yeah, that was fun. Like the driving's terrible, the shooting's bad. It's just the whole thing is just ugh. It's just not good. So save yourself some time, unless you're a masochist.
Right.
And you want to go play this game. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that this is gonna get straight ones, but that's that may be asking too much of this game. Jen, what score do you give this game?
So I gave it a 1.
There it is.
This is easily one of the most confusing and frustrating games I've ever played for Retro Roulette and ever played in my entire life, and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. Do yourself a favor and pick up a newer version of GTA, like 3 or 4 or 5, and let this game burn in a dumpster fire. The end.
In case you didn't realize how much we dislike this game. Mark, How about you?
Yeah, so I'm going to go 1.5. Just the extra half is just because I could see a lot of the bare bones skeletons for the future games in this series, in this game. So there was at least enough there that if we got really good at it, which I imagine playing that tutorial stuff over and over and over again before you are able to save, you might get good enough to see what the actual great parts of the game later that everybody seems to love, or the people that do love it praise. But yeah, definitely a straight 1 just on its own in terms of gameplay and all that. And then the extra half point is just the 3 factions and the meter between them all, being precursors to what they do in the future games.
I'm not going to give it that much credit. I'm going to give it a 1 also. just because of how annoying it was to play. Like I know it's got its quirks and blah blah blah. It's not PS1, but I just can't give it anything better than a 1. It's bound to happen. It's bound to happen. We get a game that's shit. And I was sad. I was really looking forward to this game. I thought it was going to be good. Yeah. I was very wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you hear about, like, there's games you hear about and you go, I'll pick it up because it's cheap. Mm-hmm. That was one of these games. And there's a reason why it's so cheap and nobody wants it.
Yeah. And it sucks even more that we've come to know GTA as this incredible franchise. And then to go backwards and play this was like a punch in the face.
Oh, God.
Like, we expected so much more. Maybe that's part of the problem, too.
I think that, maybe our expectations were too high.
Yeah.
Somebody can call us out on that to let us know if maybe that's our problem.
Right.
It could be. I mean, see, I don't have nostalgia goggles for this game.
Right.
The way I have for other ones that we've played. So I can see where that not having that would cause this problem. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not interested in even giving it another chance.
Right. Same. And
like
I just feel like it's unplayable, and that's a huge problem.
Yeah. Sometimes, like some games, like we play on here, and I go, I need to give that another chance.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I didn't give it the best chance I could have. I did. I gave it a shot, and it was not good. Not good. And I'm not looking forward. Like, I don't ever want to touch it again.
Yeah,
Burn
exactly.
it.
It'll sit on my shelf forever and ever, and that's where it will stay. All right, let's get that awful taste out of our mouth and spin the wheel, and hopefully we get something better. All right, we got a Dreamcast game playing Crazy Taxi 2 on Dreamcast.
Cool.
Ooh.
So we go from one game where you're driving like a madman to another one. Only this one is going to be fun. Have either of you guys? I mean, Crazy Taxi is a big arcade game. I don't know if either of you guys played it either in the arcade or if you've played it in. It was on Xbox. It was on all kinds of stuff.
I know the name. I don't know that I've ever played. Actually, I think I have played it in the arcade. I'm pretty sure I played it in the arcade, but not a ton. Like House of the Dead.
Yeah.
That, like, I lived and breathed for that game. I'm pretty sure I've played Crazy Taxi, but not. I probably.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to playing it again.
I definitely played Crazy Taxi both on Dreamcast and in the arcade. I don't. You said 2, right? This is Crazy Taxi 2. I don't think I've ever played the sequel.
Yeah, there's another. I want to say there's Crazy Taxi 3.
Does this one have the Offspring?
I don't know, and if it does, I'm gonna have to turn it off on stream. Because that is
the only reason for the first game. Yeah,
I mean, by far that's the best part of the game. Yeah. I mean, it's a fun game, but having the Offspring in it just makes it that much better.
Yeah. That's why the remake that was on Xbox or whatever, Xbox Arcade, wasn't as good because they had to take out the Offspring songs.
And they just had like
generic music,
generic punk-ish music.
Yeah.
Boo.
But yeah, that's what we will be playing this week. We'll if you're listening to this the day it comes out, I'll be playing it tonight on stream. So tune in for that. Let's see. We got a lot of changes happening on stream, speaking of, which we'll get to. But Mark, can you let everybody know about our family of podcasts before we get out of here?
So we have Stranger Damies, our D&D podcast. Find it anywhere you get podcasts at Stranger Damies. It airs every other Wednesday. Unfortunately, I think we're only going to have one more stream. I know I've been saying no more streams, but summer work schedules and stuff like that. I think we're going to be doing one more, not live, over, the internet and not in person. I shouldn't say live. They're all live. So be on the lookout for that, but it'll be our final one because we are going back to in person. And I think that'll be a better podcast for all of you out there. And it'll be a lot easier and more comfortable for everybody if we do it not on video. And go back to a little bit of our old way of doing it. So looking forward to that. And then we have, they call this a movie, or as we now call it, thanks to Jonathan, TC Tam. And that airs every Thursday. You can find us on Spreaker or anywhere else you get podcasts. We're Instagram and Twitter at The Main Damie. TheMainDamie.com is our main website. Be sure to go there. We're going to be possibly revamping that a little bit to add some more stuff to it and maybe get a little more use out of it than we actually do now. So be on the lookout for that. And then obviously we stream and do a whole bunch of stuff that I'm sure Jen will fill you in on.
Yeah. So starting with Mondays, we're still alternating. It's either going to be Retro Roulette, where Tom plays our newest Retro Roulette game and gives his initial thoughts, or it'll be Retro Mondays with Tom.
Which, by the way, if you're listening to this Monday, there is probably a Twitter poll to figure out what the next game I'm playing on Monday is.
Yes, because he was playing Suikoden and just beat it. Yay! So, yeah, as he mentioned, please keep an eye out for our Twitter. It's just at GameBallPod. Participate in the poll and help us pick our next game that we can enjoy with Tom on every other Monday. Tuesday is always a set day off for us. Wednesdays is, I feel like someone just suggested a name for us, and now I don't remember. But it is currently Halo
Hump Day.
Halo Hump Day. Yep, there it is. So it's Halo Hump Day, where the three of us are playing through the Master Chief Collection. And we're having some fun with it. I mean, 2 out of 3 of us aren't great at it, but it's entertaining, I think.
It's a lot of fun. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a lot of fun. It's a big nostalgia bomb for us. So please join us if you want to see us, have some fun times, maybe do a little teabagging. Thursdays is now a brand new gaming series with Mark and myself. It's no longer a secret. We are playing through It Takes Two. We just started the game.
Buddy.
We just started the game. It's been super fun. It's just, as an outsider who once watched 2 other people play the game, I enjoyed it watching it as much as I'm enjoying playing it. So if you're wondering what it is, you just have to watch it. It's very interesting. It's unique. There's puzzles. It's frustrating in a good way. It's just really fun. Fridays currently is either going to be our day off because that's when we record the podcast, or it'll be TBD. Basically, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are currently in the works right now, where, as Mark just alluded to earlier, it's summer plans and things are kind of changing for us right now. We are trying to bring you guys some fun new stuff. So as soon as we know, we will let you know. But as of right now, I guess you could say it's probably some grab bag days. Whenever we want to jump on and stream, we will let you guys know. So the best place, again, is to go to our Twitter account at GameBallPod and see what we're playing and when we're going to be going live.
Awesome. Yeah. If you haven't tuned in to the It Takes Two stream, I highly recommend it. And I'm really excited to finally play a new game on stream. So please vote in the poll, because I'm excited, and I'm excited to get into a new game. Although I'm sad that Suikoden's over. It was a lot of fun. And I thank God I had Mark guiding me.
I'm going to miss the elephant dragons the most.
Oh, the elephant dragons.
Anytime, good buddy.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. All right. Before we get out of here, I'm going to mention that we are an affiliate of Stone Age Gamer. If you have a need for any retro console accessories, whether it be cables or controllers or power supplies or flash carts, pretty much anything you can think of, head over to Stone Age Gamer and use the link in the description of the podcast. And anytime you use that to purchase something, it gives us a little kickback, helps us make this podcast and our streams better for you guys. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. Hopefully everyone is well and enjoying their summer. For Mark and Jenny, I'm Tom, and we will catch you guys in the next one.